everyone, and thanks for joining us today. Our webinar will begin in just a moment, but we wanted to share this video of Gregory from South Africa talking about his experience teaching in the USA with EPI. So here is his story.
I grew up in South Africa, a place called East London, and just the coastline's really beautiful there. It's a lovely part of the world to grow up. I was coming to the end of my time in Abu Dhabi and I was looking at what my next move would be. The first thing that I researched teaching in the States, EPI came up, and the application, I thought, oh, this looks interesting. To be honest, I haven't regretted it yet, so it's been a good move. One of the things I've always appreciated being a teacher is having good relationships with students, but I didn't realize how important those relationships were in terms of helping you to maintain sort of discipline or behavior management, things like that. And I think though that coming to the States, it's made it really even more prevalent in my thinking, that in terms of just establishing those connections with students, getting the most out of them, helping them to get to their potential, because if you know what they're into and what they want, you can motivate them. I think certainly establishing those relationships with students is very important, as well as establishing those relationships with your staff as well. And it kind of makes the workplace a much more fun place to be if you've got good relationships with your teachers and your colleagues and your principals. I've really grown to appreciate that. Every workplace has its own challenges and its own dynamics, but you don't have to solve everything on the first day or the first week, and really you've got time here, you've got the people in your organization that can help you and guide you to sort of gradually improve yourself. I think cultural exchange is just being open to meeting people in your day-to-day lives, and being able to share experiences, being able to learn from the people that are around you. I think it's just being open to that opportunity and just being proud of where you're coming from and being willing to learn of other people's cultures and being a good listener. We've got to be aware of the bigger picture and we've got to take action in terms of that. If you're in a position to get into this program, I would definitely say you should go for it, because there's so much you can learn. You're going to get a lot of good experience from your school. You're going to get that life experience of moving and living in another country, and that can then open actually other doors for you in terms of maybe if you want to go and teach in another country at another point in time. And it's not so much about the beautiful places that you get to see when you're here, but again, it's about making those friendships that you wouldn't really be able to have, and sharing experiences with other people that are on the same program. But also it definitely develops character, and you grow as a teacher and you grow as an individual. Life is what you make of it, so grab it with both hands.
Hi everyone, and welcome to our webinar, How to Apply to Teach in the USA with EPI. My name is Jessica, and I'm the content coordinator for EPI. I'm from the mountains of North Carolina, and before working for Educational Partners International, I taught English at the community college level. Today I will be talking with you about EPI's application process and answering any questions that you might have. We will answer questions in the comments section throughout the presentation. Keep in mind that we won't be able to answer questions about your specific application for privacy reasons. All of those should be emailed to team@teachwithepi.com, where one of our trained admissions specialists will assist you. Today we will be talking about how to apply to teach in the U.S. with Educational Partners International. During this webinar, we will be going over how to start your application and what documents you will need for it. We will also explain the purpose of the application and give you some tips that will make the process go as quickly as possible. If you're joining us for the first time, we are Educational Partners International, or EPI for short, and we are a cultural exchange program that brings international teachers to teach in K 12 schools in the United States. We are so dedicated to facilitating cultural exchange in the U.S. because EPI believes sharing knowledge across cultures and venues improves understanding among teachers, students, administrators, and members of the communities in which we live. This is our core mission to help exchange knowledge and information between cultures so that we can understand each other better and work together to create a global community. Educational Partners International is an exchange visitor program authorized to sponsor teachers for K 12 placement in public, private, and charter schools in North Carolina, South Carolina, Virginia, and Florida. We place teachers in all subjects taught in K 12 schools, so that means not only foreign languages and English as a second language, but also math, science, art, special education, elementary education, and many more subjects. While we work with schools across the southern United States, our home office is in the mountains of North Carolina, which you can see in the photo on your screen. We would love to know where you are from too, so please take the time to tell us in the comments. And wherever you are joining us from, thank you so much for watching. So now that you have some background on who we are, it's important to understand EPI's process. So our process for bringing teachers like you to the United States looks basically like this. First, you complete an application so that we know you are eligible for our program and will be a strong candidate for cultural exchange. This includes filling out a thorough online form, uploading official documents, and 2 interviews with EPI team members. After you've completed the application process, you are moved to the approved stage where you interview at one of our partnered schools. Once you complete a successful school interview, you are placed in the school and become an official EPI teacher. So let's take a closer look at the first step, the application. EPI's application is thorough and it serves many purposes. Filling it out creates a professional profile for schools to look at when they are considering teachers for interviews. It also helps you collect the documents that you will need to get a visa, travel to the United States, and to get a teaching license. Finally, we use the information you provide on the application to decide whether or not you meet our eligibility requirements. Some of the requirements for being an EPI teacher are that you are currently teaching, you have 2 years full-time teaching experience, you have the equivalent of a U.S. bachelor's degree, and you have advanced English skills. So you've read about EPI, meet our qualifications, and have decided that you want to apply to teach in the USA. How do you get started? Well, the first step is to go to our website, teachwithepi.com. After you answer the eligibility question and click submit, you'll be able to make an account with your email address and start your application. Once you start your application, it is important that you prioritize completing your personal and professional profile as soon as possible so that you can quickly move to the next stage. One of the most common questions our candidates ask is, how long does the process take? So our application is designed to make sure that you are able to travel and teach in the U.S. and includes processing all of your documents and 2 interviews with EPI team members. So how long it takes depends on how quickly you can collect and upload the appropriate documents. Here we have a list of the documents you will need to upload to your application before you are eligible for school interviews. We ask for copies of all pages of your passport, diploma, transcripts, criminal background checks, proof of employment, and a credential evaluation from an NACES approved company. When you are first starting your application, you should prioritize uploading the passport pages, diplomas, and transcripts because we will need these documents before we can invite you for interviews with EPI team members. Please keep in mind that the only place you should upload these documents is to the official EPI website, teachwithepi.com. To protect your privacy, you should never upload documents to Facebook. We will not accept any of your documents through our Facebook page or messages. Today, we also have some tips on what you can do to make sure the application process goes as quickly and smoothly as possible. The first step is to read all of our requirements before you apply. You can find a complete list on our website. When completing the application, you will need to be sure to read and follow all directions carefully. You will also want to proofread all of your answers, as any typos or mistakes made with spelling and dates can make it take longer. Finally, be sure to create your account with a valid email address and check your email regularly. We will only be able to discuss your application through email, so it's important that you are looking for emails from EPI about your status. Okay, now we will be taking the time to address questions. If you've not submitted yours yet, please ask them now. We will be answering all of your questions in the comment section today. Here are some of the most common questions that we get at EPI. Lots of applicants want to know how long the EPI program is, and we are a 3-year program. People also ask, is there an application fee? The answer is no, there is no application or placement fee. There are other costs associated with your application, such as obtaining your diploma or transcripts, but EPI will never charge you an application or a placement fee. Another question we often get is there an age limit? So no, there is no age limit. As long as you meet our basic requirements, you can join the EPI program regardless of your age. Some of those requirements are that you are currently teaching with at least 2 years full-time teaching experience, you have the equivalent of a U.S. bachelor's degree, and you have advanced English skills. We also have some other questions that have been on our applicants' minds more recently. Most people want to know, is EPI still accepting applications? So yes, EPI is continuing to accept and process applications. You can apply by visiting our website, teachwithepi.com. For more information about what our application process looks like at this time, please email our admissions team at team@teachwithepi.com. Another question that applicants have is, can I put my application on hold? And yes, you are able to start your application and later put it on hold if you need to. There is no obligation to continue once you have started. You can then choose to resume your application at a time that is better for you and your personal situation. Finally, our applicants have been wondering, how does EPI support teachers during times of uncertainty or emergencies? We always prioritize the safety of our program members and provide support for any situations that may arise while they're in the United States. For example, since the outbreak of COVID-19, we have been monitoring the situation, providing detailed guidance for our teachers, and operating at a normal capacity so that we can be available for all of our program members. So now that you know more about how to apply, let's talk about next steps. First, if you haven't yet, go to teachwithepi.com and start your application. If you have applied but have questions about how to continue, email us at team@teachwithepi.com. Finally, go to teachwithepi.com/webinars to sign up for our future webinars and watch all of our previous videos. To end our presentation today, I would like to leave you with this quote as a reminder of why cultural exchange is so important and why we are eager to bring teachers like you to the United States. J. William Fulbright was a U.S. Senator and the founder of the Fulbright Program. He said, "The essence of intercultural education is the acquisition of empathy, the ability to see the world as others see it, and to allow for the possibility that others may see something that we have failed to see or may see it more accurately." We are dedicated to helping teachers like you come to the U.S. so that we may learn from each other's unique perspectives, just like Fulbright talks about here. Okay, that's all for today. Thank you so much for joining us. If you have any further questions, email us at team@teachwithepi.com. Also, be sure to sign up for our webinar mailing list at teachwithepi.com/webinars. On behalf of everyone at EPI, thank you for joining us and have a great day, everyone.